Welcome to TimSold Talks. Join us as we dive into all things real estate, talk about business, food, cars, and much more with industry experts. Dream it, believe it, achieve it. All right, welcome back for another episode of TimSold Talks. Very honored to have David Fritz, the founder of David Fritz Golf Academy here, esteemed golf coach in the GTA. So many accolades given to him, so thank you very much for coming on today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and thank you. I know it's a nice summer day. I know it's taken out of your busy schedule, but truly thankful to have you and share some golden nuggets with our audience today. But before we begin, I just want to say a quick thank you to Charmaine Sweets for sponsoring today's meal for us, or short little pastries and snacks, and we got some quinoa salads and everything. They're a small mom and pop bakery here in the Leaside area. Highly recommend them. They've won many accolades for their pastries, for their macarons, and for their butter tarts. So go check them out. There'll be some links for them. But Dave, what would you like to try today?
You know what? I'm gonna try the croissant now.
The croissant?
Croissant looks pretty good there.
Yeah. They're freshly baked every single day.
Yeah, my best friend is a butter tart nut, so he's got to try. So they're known for their butter tarts, eh?
Butter tarts, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
They won. I think, who's that chef? McEwen or?
Oh wow, these croissants.
Yeah. Let's give it a try. Ooh, so flaky. This is a chocolate one.
My kid would love this. My kid's a croissant.
A croissant, eh?
He's a croissant monster, yeah.
Wow.
Loves the croissant.
Freshly baked every day.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Oh, that's really good.
Yep. People got to go to Charmaine's.
Yeah, go check them out.
Go check them out. Yeah, absolutely.
So Dave, golf coach, right? Performance
golf coach, yeah.
Golf coach. How long you been doing that for? Or what's your story? How did it all start?
Yeah, so I'll tell you what. So when I was young, junior golfer, right? Yep. I was a pretty good golfer.
Yep.
I went away to school in the States and to university for a couple of years.
Okay.
To play Division I golf.
Yep.
But I think after 2 years, I think I realized, hey, I was pretty good, but I wasn't that good. I guess because your dream is always to become like, hey, listen, I want to be on the PGA Tour or be a professional. That's kind of when you're at that level. That's what you want to be, right? And I realized, hey, listen, you know what? Like, 75 in a tournament is good, but it's not gonna.
It's just scraping by, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna really play on the PGA. But I worked actually. So what I did was I worked at York Downs and for a couple of summers, and I came back after my second year of university, and then I really liked the golf professional kind of side of things, the club side. I like that side. So that year I was only 19.
19, eh?
Yeah, wow. So I turned professional when I was 19.
Okay.
PGA of Canada, and then I started working at clubs as assistants and that type of thing. I was more on the club side for quite some time. Yeah. And then about 12 years ago, and I worked more in in the private club side. So I've experience, at some of the nicer clubs in the GTA, like York Downs, Thornhill, Magna, Granite, that type of thing. Yeah. So that was, and then I actually, about 12 years ago, I lost my job at Granite, and I was kind of like in between a couple of things, and I was like, still trying to get back on the club side, but I still taught as part of my gig, I guess, since I was 19 in some capacity. And then I realized, hey, listen, you know what? I really like this, but if you're going to do it, do it properly, do it right. So I put a lot of time and effort into kind of building, the David Fritz Golf Academy up. The funny thing is when I started, I was like, okay, I got to go online and actually, set up a business. I didn't really have a name, right? So I just said, hey, as a placeholder, let's just put David Fritz down, right?
Yeah.
Because I was always I like to think I'm a humble guy. I don't like it when people say, oh, who, David Fritz or whatever. It's kind of weird to me still, but it's and I have to promote it. And, I used to think that people that put their names on thing, they were a little bit, they were a little weird
to themselves.
Yeah, right. So I was like, but then it kind of, what happened was it kind of stuck. And then I was like, okay, well, I can't change it.
It's a brand.
It's a brand now, right? So we built it up. So now it's so we've been doing it for about 12 years. We've got three main locations. We got location in Richmond Hill. We've got a location in Oakville, and we got a location in Stouffville.
Wow.
And and we run, basically it's a full-fledged academy. So we do camps for kids. We do clinics for kids and adults, intro, and even kind of intermediate level clinics. We do private, semi-private lessons, and then we have, for people that are a little more serious, that want to take their game, let's say to another level, private lessons or competitive programs and that type of thing. So, so that's kind of where we're at now, and even now
amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the growth, right?
Yeah.
So how big are we talking? How many coaches, how many students, like just to give the audience a number, like
so
an idea?
So we're at our largest with coaches and camp counselors, like in July and August, right? Because that's when.
The summer camps.
So our team is probably at around 25 when in July and August, right? Yeah. Because like on a day like today, we have so we've got about 30 kids in camp in Stouffville. We got about 40 kids in camp in Richmond Hill, and we got another 40 or 50 kids in Oakville. So there's a lot going on, but it's great. Like it's really, really good. And we've been lucky to have good partners along the way, like facility partners. And luckily, like to have a good team of coaches that are, pretty solid. So like if people say, hey, who should I take a lesson from? I usually tell people, my answer is, listen, they're all pretty.
Yeah, they're all great.
They're all pretty solid instructors, and they're all really, really good at getting people into the game. Actually, I got a good compliment the other day from a girl that I teach, and she said she did the camp with us. She goes, your coaches. Yeah. Make kids like golf. And I was like, oh wow, that's like the best. That's like the best compliment.
Right?
That's the best. That's what we do. Like when we do our staff training and we do everything, we're we're like, hey, our first job is to make these kids. Well, we say we want them to go home safe, obviously, to their parents. Nobody gets hurt. But then after that, it's fun and helping them fall in love with the game and that kind of thing, right? So, so that was a nice compliment, actually, from the girl.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
And speaking of the training, like, how many, how do you, well, firstly, for audiences don't know, like, how do you become a golf coach, right? Can anyone just do it, or do you have to, get certified? And then, the training, and then, especially with your academy, like, how do you groom your kind of the coaches?
Well, I'll tell you why. Like, I mean, just with anything else, I think anyone could probably call themselves a golf coach, I guess. Like there's different areas from certifications that help you become a better golf coach. But I'm part of the PGA program, so I had to grow up through a system that kind of like, it's a systematic process that builds you up into, let's say, learning different things about the game, learning how to grow the game. There's different seminars, that type of thing, which do help out huge, right? And then there's people that, let's say, might not have a certification, but came from a very strong golf playing background. Yeah, and their strong playing background helps them kind of, and that's an interesting one too, right? Because a lot of them have some experiences in different tournament settings under pressure that do help out, let's say, some of the competitive kids as far as how to approach the game, how to their mental side and that type of thing. So I think at the end of the day, there's different ways that you can kind of skin the cat and be a really good coach in any sport. But generally, like, let's say, I mean, I'm a PGA guy, obviously, like if someone said, hey, what should I,
how do I become
how to become a golf coach? I think that's a great route to go. The PGA route's good because they've already developed all these coaches over the years.
Coursework and
they develop all the coursework and seminars. So if you go through that, and I think, but I think there's no better learning than sitting on the practice tee for hundreds of hours because you're basically like I'm a much better coach today than I was 15 years ago, right? If someone just jumped into it now, they I've made all the mistakes that they're going to make, and I'm still making mistakes, but I'm much better now than I was before, right? So, but it's it's fun.
No, that's great to hear. Okay, so from conception to now, obviously a tremendous success to have the 3 locations. Is that it, or where are you trying to aim for? What else are you trying to accomplish with the academy?
You know what, I'm always looking to, let's say, grow it in different ways. I mean, just like every business, you don't want to be like, let's say, stagnant. You want to grow it and build it. And there's, let's put it this way. I'm not like, let's say, deaf to new opportunities. I always explore new opportunities and that type of thing. But I like kind of where we're at now, and I think we've got. I've built a team where we have, different leaders in each location that help me out a little bit. So it does give me the opportunity to potentially grow the academy, because I think it would be too much just for me to kind of handle, obviously. But there is definitely room for growth if there was a good kind of partner
up to help you. Expansion.
a good facility partner, that type of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I see. And talk us through, because obviously I don't think a lot of our audience know what entails, being a golf coach. Is it like, what are some of the positives, the great rewards, and some of the challenges maybe that to be aware of.
You know what? Well, I'll tell you what the great rewards are. Is that especially when you're dealing with, because golf is a fun game, right? It's a game. It's for fun, and it's fun to see the successes of your student and see them enjoy golf, on a different level. Because I've had people that said, Dave, that's it. This is my last lesson. This is my last opportunity to play golf. If you don't help me, I'm quitting, right? I'm quitting. That's it. I'm done. And then I give them this, help them out a little bit, and then they can enjoy golf again, and with their friends, with their buddies, with their work people, whoever it is, like I teach a girl that she went on a trip to the Arctic, and she sent me a postcard. Like, that's so cool, right? Like, she sent me like a postcard saying, "Hey, Dave, I'm on vacation for a couple of weeks, so I'm not going to see you, but here's a postcard. I'll see you in 2 weeks." That's and then when they do well,
the relationships,
the relationships, I think that's kind of cool. Like the negatives is everybody thinks, "Oh, you're a golf coach, wow, that you live the life, you play so much golf." Like I've only played 2 rounds of golf this year.
Oh, yeah?
That's it. Yeah, I've only played 2 rounds of golf, and it was like kind of like this a mini tournament up north. It was like, and it was like, that's my first 2 rounds, right? So it's like, I guess like the negative would be the game that you grew up enjoying through playing.
Yeah.
If you want to build your business up, you probably don't have the opportunity to play as much as you used to.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be the negative, right? And but and just like any business, right? Like if it was just me, let's say coaching you, that's easy. That's easy. I'm pretty good at that. I'm good with people and that type of thing. But when you have a business and you have different balls up in the air, then there's different challenges that present themselves. But for the most part, like it's listen. I'm outside every day. I'm enjoying the sun. People are usually happy to get a golf lesson, and if they're happy, then I'm happy.
Then
right?
you're happy.
Then I'm happy, right? So
yeah. Oh, that's amazing to hear.
Yeah.
And what about, you said growing the business, like, how has the game of golf kind of changed throughout the 12 years that you've been coaching or teaching?
Well, I think our business was in the right spot at the right time. Let's say during the COVID, let's call it boom of golf.
Yeah.
I think because we had different locations, we had multiple instructors, so we could handle, let's say, all these new people, let's say, getting into golf, because at the time everybody was getting into outdoor sports and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was so that helped the business out a lot
tremendously,
with the growth. Yeah. I think the hard part with golf is that it's a tough game, right? So the problem is that all those new people, like there's only probably like a small number of them that are like, but our job is, hey, let's get them to enjoy it. Can they get competent enough and reasonable enough that they can stay in the game?
Yeah.
And and enjoy it, and that type of thing. But but that the challenges. So I think we were blessed with that blessed with that boom. I think the challenges
the COVID boom, right? Yeah,
the COVID boom, right? I think the challenges is that, listen, I mean, I think like every other business, you're going through like some tough times. I think people might say, hey, instead of taking 5 lessons this year, maybe I'll take 2 lessons or 3 lessons, or if I'm going to send we used to have kids that would sign up for the whole summer, 8 weeks of camp, boom, their parents would sign them up because they love the camp. Maybe they only do 4 weeks. Who knows, right? Like it's like it's a little bit. So I guess those are just more everyday business challenges that not just a golf business coaching business would have, right? So.
I see. But, correct me if I'm wrong, like, prior to COVID, golf was kind of seen like kind of a dying sport, right? Or, on the slowdown, right? Because, the popularity of it wasn't there, the interest wasn't there, maybe the demographics that were playing at the time are getting a little bit older. Is there some truth to that? Or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, I think golf is actually on the decline, right? And you're right. Like, it's like COVID kind of started this. So to me, it used to be that the market was saturated with too many options. So golf courses were probably like lowering their rates.
Yep.
And then now COVID. So COVID brought out this beginner golfer. So a lot of these public facilities, or let's call it driving ranges, entry level facilities, they're taking advantage because a lot of people are like, AI, it's something to do. It's not that expensive.
It was the only thing that was allowed to be
It was
done
the only
too.
thing that was allowed. And you definitely see different demographic, right? Because it's like, I don't remember like back in the day, like people playing loud music on their carts driving around, right? People wearing their hat backwards, people with untucked shirts, all these things, right? It's like now it's like golf has become a little bit more, I guess, if you want to call it a more cooler,
Casual.
more fun, right? And golf courses that before were kind of stuck to their rules, traditions and all these things, they have to adapt, right? Because, people, now it's like you go to the range, people are pretty young, and they're just much younger, and they're it's a lot different. It's definitely a little bit different, but in a good way. I think golf is. I think it was maybe too much
too stuck up.
Too stuck up. Yeah, too much of an elitist sport maybe back then. It's like people thought, oh, golf is too expensive, it's too proper. Where now it's kind of like, maybe it's got a good balance. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
And speaking about a younger demographic, what do you think, I heard about like the Live Golf Tour, the PGA Tour, these younger kind of players coming up. How's that kind of influenced the culture?
Yeah. I think Live is, the funny thing is I haven't really followed Live that much, except maybe in social media and that type of thing.
Yeah.
But listen, at the end of the day, I think it's going to open up probably new opportunities. And again, I think it's making golf cooler, right? Like it's like, I think they play music.
Yeah, they play music.
They play music. They've got loud fans. Like it's like
you wear shorts.
You wear shorts. Yeah, it's like Happy Gilmore, right?
Yeah.
It's like very like, I saw a video the other day of one of the players playing from the grandstands. Like it was pretty cool. Like it's like, like people, and they do kind of different stuff. Ian Poulter, did you see that where he was like swearing at one of the,
no.
Did you see that? Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. He was basically giving it to one of the
fans,
one of the fans. I think so. Yeah. Like it was like, it's definitely changed, right? It's a lot different. So I think it's just making it golf cool, right?
Yeah, I guess more
golf's more
a social kind of outing for patrons, right? Because you go to any kind of sports, any other sports, right? Like NBA, NBL, NHL, like their fans are loud, they're screaming, they're loud music everywhere. But golf is, everyone's polite. Like
I know. Well, it's funny. Like I was a hockey player before I was a golfer.
Oh yeah.
So I played. So I was the only kid on my hockey team, 12 years old, that was playing golf, and people are like, man, you play golf.
Yeah.
And then you had the Tiger boom,
yeah.
And now you got a different kind of boom, the COVID boom, and people are like, now it's like, what, you don't play golf? If you're like 12 years old on a hockey team and you don't play golf, how come you don't play golf?
What's wrong?
Yeah, how come you don't play golf? So it's like, it's kind of like, and I was talking to a parent today about this. It's like, because parents put their kids into, let's say, piano and swimming and all these different things, and sometimes not golf, but I think golf is truly a sport for a lifetime. It's not like, because if you have a company event, you're not going to say, hey, let's do the company swim. Let's go to the YMCA. We're going to do a company swim at 4:00. But you do say, hey, let's go to the company golf tournament.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, we're going to have a company golf tournament. So the thing is that we do a lot of corporate clinics where it's like, there's like 20, 30 people in the company that don't know how to play golf, but they want to give them the tools so that when they have a corporate event, they can play and stuff.
Enjoy themselves,
They can enjoy it, right? So it's like, so it's funny, right? But golf is, and it helps you with your business, with different things, relationships. So golf is truly a game where, even if you don't play like so competitively, you can enjoy it for sure for a lifetime, right? Yeah.
It's a great social sport.
Great social sport.
I think in the longevity of it too, right? Like, we're here talking about, LeBron James, he's like 40 years old and he's near the end of his career, right? But like with golf, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds can still kick, a 20-year-old's ass legitimately. Like,
oh, right. But if you think about it, right, LeBron has been around just because he's that good. If you actually search the average amount of time that a NBA, like an average NBA player plays in the professionally, I would say it's probably only about 3 to 5 years, maybe.
Very
right.
Small.
Football too, like it's very even less because of the body. Hockey less. So it's like golf is truly a game where you can play for quite some time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and stay competitive too. Like
stay competitive.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's the only sport where, or sport where, you can mix the social and the athleticism together. And, it's a great mind game, actually. I think it's more than physical. It's like, how to position your ball, how to play the course, how to use your advantage, play to your handicap. It's all more, I don't think people realize how mentally taxing the sport is.
Yeah. Well, what was Bobby Jones saying? Bobby Jones said it was like golf is a game that's played in a 4-inch fairway between your head or something like that. I think that's what he said. I think he said that. Right?
It's all in there.
Yeah. I would have been a much better player if my head was good. That's what held me back. I learned how to be better with that, but I'm still working on it. But
it's a game that no one really masters, right? Even look at the pros; they're always working, tinkering. They're hot one season, and all of a sudden they change something, or they need to change something to improve. And it's a never-ending chase, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the beauty of it. So
absolutely. I gotta have some more of this croissant.
Yeah, no, this croissant's really crispy.
Oh man, that's good.
What about we talked about some of your students. Like, what are some of the main highlights or success stories I think you can share with us, current or past, or any.
Well, you know what? I think my academy, I think, started to take off a little bit when I was teaching. Well, the good news is that a lot of my students are doing very well in different competitive events, which is awesome, right? Mm-hmm. But one student in particular, I started teaching him when he was 5.5 years old, and I taught him pretty consistently until he was about 12 years old, and but he was so good that he moved to Florida to play golf 12 months out of the year, right? And so when he's in town, I still see him once in a while, which is great. I think he has a coach in the in Florida that he works with a little bit too. But his dad is primarily his main coach, which is so cool because his dad doesn't play golf at all. Eh?
Oh yeah,
his dad learned golf because of his son.
Okay.
It was amazing. Like his dad bought books and all these different things. But so this kid, he's winning everything in Toronto. He's winning every tournament. We're like, wow, this kid's pretty good. Yeah, this kid's pretty good. So he goes and plays in the World Championship, the U.S. Kids World Championship, U9.
Okay.
And I'm sitting at it was a long weekend. Was it a long weekend? I think it's always, the World Championship, I think, is always first week of August. So I think it was the long weekend here. I'm trying to think. Anyways, I was at a friend's house, at his house in a barbecue, and we were all sitting around talking, and I get a text from this guy, Eddie's mom, and Eddie's mom, and I totally forgot he was playing in this tournament. I totally forgot because he was away. He was playing in some other tournaments too, and then his mom said, text me and she says, if Eddie pars this hole, he's going to be the world champion. And I was like, and I looked at it. I'm like, I had to look at it a couple times, and I'm like, we knew this kid was good, but we didn't know he was that good, good, right? Because now he's playing on a world stage, a lot different being in Toronto, right? So so sure enough. She sends me, so now she's giving me play-by-play, and I'm at this guy's party, and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy, right? So now he pars the last hole, but this kid from Thailand birdies it.
Oh.
So now they have to go into a playoff.
Yeah.
And anyway, so she's giving me play-by-play, and sure enough, he birdies I think it was the second hole.
Yeah.
In a playoff. This is a 9-year-old kid, under 9. I don't even know if he was 9 yet. I think he was. Yeah. Anyways, and so he birdies it. Crazy, wins the world championship. Nobody, and we're like, oh my God, this kid's that good.
Wow.
And then because it's different comparing yourself, and then he didn't play in the U10 because of COVID.
Okay.
Goes back and plays the U11. Yeah. Same thing. The mom texts me again, but she texts me after. She didn't give me play-by. Eddie just won the world championship. Okay. And I had to look at it again. I'm like,
oh my God.
Holy moly, man. So he won 2 world championships in 3 years, didn't compete in the U10 because of COVID. Didn't go down.
Yeah.
And he won he won the red, white, and blue a couple of times, which is a big tournament down in the States. He actually just won an AJG event he's not even 15, as a 14-year-old. And those kids are 18-year-old. So these kids that he's playing against are going on scholarship next year.
Yeah, good D1.
So he won an AJG and he shot.
Oh, he won it.
He won it. And it's a 6,500-yard course, and he shot 69 or 67, 68, 69 or something.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man. So this kid is really, so this would be like, I guess if you look at it, I mean, you can't really get better than having a student win a
world championship.
A world championship, right? That's pretty crazy, right? So that would be kind of like a really, really cool story, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, he's such a good kid. He came to he was in town over the last 2 weeks, so he came and he mentored some of our competitive teams. So he actually talked to them about how he practices and how he plays, and we watched him his shots, and all the kids were like, oh my God, I can't believe, like it's crazy. He flies the ball 285 off his drive. It's like he hits it pretty long for a 14-year-old kid. I mean, but the amount of detail that he puts into his practice is just unbelievable, right? And that was the one thing that the kids took out of it. Now, I mean, that's one good story. I mean, the other good story is like and it's a brother and sister kind of duo, like Catherine and William. That Catherine started with us, and what was amazing, I think she just started in one camp, and the next year after that, she's already like winning tournaments. Like I think she won, I don't know, 10 tournaments one year or something.
10 tournaments,
and she just started, like, literally, I think she's only been playing golf. I think this is her third year.
Wow.
And she's already played in a world championship. Her brother's really good. And it's funny, right? Same thing. The dad doesn't really play golf. It's quite amazing. But the dad goes to me, he goes, hey Dave, he goes, I don't know about too much about the swing or this and that, but he goes, I know how to train them. I know where their weaknesses are. I know how to train them. I said, well, there you go. You know, I always told the parents, listen, I'm the assistant coach. I only see them one time a week or two times a week, 1 hour. You're with them all day, every day. So you're like, you're a big part in their development, right? You're the biggest part. So, and how, not only that, like how they practice and how they play, like, how you are with them when they do well, how you are with them when they don't do well, all of these things, right? That's important, right? Because kids, they're kids, you don't want them to burn out. They're 10 years old, they're 6 years old, 7 years old, right? But anyways, I mean, but it's fun. It's fun to watch some of these kids develop for sure. Yeah. It's great.
No, amazing stories.
Yeah.
And amazing accolades to, testimony to your golf coaching capabilities, right? So
I don't know, man. I think I'm just lucky that some of these kids, I'm like, just don't screw this up. This is pretty, this is pretty darn good. You don't want to screw this up. Just try to, the way I look at it, it's almost kind of like, you want to be a coach that's like, there's always going to be ups and downs, right? But you want it to always kind of, like the stock market, right? You always want it to kind of trend in a positive direction, even though it does, and golf is the same thing. You're going to have your highs and lows, bad tournaments, good tournaments, but you want it to kind of, let's say, go up. And my job, I think, is just to keep them close to that line as they trend up. That's, go up, right? I just try to, push them in a better direction so they keep on getting better, right? That's it, right?
Yeah. No. Thank you for sharing that. Some amazing stories there. And I think we're nearly running out of time. But before we go, we always kind of ask our guests two favorite questions. Like, what's the one type of food you can eat for the rest of your life?
Oh my God, one type of food that I can eat for the rest of life. Oh my God, that's crazy. I like Greek. I like Greek food.
Greek food?
I love Greek. I love Greek salad.
Greek salad, yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I mean,
but you're not Greek yourself, right?
I'm not
okay.
Greek. No, yeah. I have the Mediterranean. My mom's Mediterranean, so I'm like a steak guy. I love steak.
Steaks.
I love steak.
Yeah,
my wife.
Any particular shout outs to any restaurants nearby or anyone local?
Shout out to a restaurant.
Or to your wife maybe? Whoever cooks.
My wife actually makes a really good steak. She's learned how to she bought a cast iron skillet and she fries it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Have
you ever tried a steak on a cast iron skillet?
It is amazing.
Way
you put
better
the butter and like the thyme and the garlic.
Way better than the barbecue, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she tainted me from barbecuing. I think that's like so I don't know. Hopefully she'll watch this. I'll tell her now that I gave her the shout out. I gave her the shout out on the I gave her the shout out, right? But you know what? I'm a pretty simple guy. I don't have too many fancy restaurants. But like I'm more like a chain. Like But I don't know. What's your favorite restaurant? What do you like?
Steaks too.
Steaks too. Where do you go? Where do you?
I make them myself.
Oh, you like making your steaks yourself?
I like making them myself.
What type of rib steak? Sirloin.
I get this. I get this sirloin from Beretta Farms. During COVID, one of my friends was an executive somewhere, and they had oversupply of some steak, so he just gave me a box and he tried this one out, right? Just to because no one was going to the restaurants then, so I got the steaks and I was like, this is really good. They're all freeze dried, frozen, and then Beretta Farms. Yeah, I've tried a lot of different steakhouses. You go, they're nice, but these ones are all local, and
right? Cool.
The quality is amazing. Every single time, it's like you open the package, it's all the same. There's repeat, there's consistency there. You just put on the grill for a few minutes, bit of seasoning. Yeah,
amazing, amazing.
Second question I got to ask you. So, what would be the best house feature or real estate feature you'd like in your dream house?
Oh, wow.
Or do you already have it? What would be the one thing that you must have?
That's a good question, man.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So I got to tell you this.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a pretty minimalist guy.
Yeah.
But I would say if I were to look at what my wife likes, which is usually who purchases the home.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think my wife and daughter are the two big decision makers. But it's like I think like a nice kitchen.
A nice kitchen?
I think so, because you spend so much of your time in your kitchen, right? Like, so it's like you do a lot of cooking. So it's like, like a nice open space,
concept,
nice
big island.
Yeah, I think that's a nice selling feature for a house. And I think, like a nice backyard, like a nice backyard where you can hang out and just enjoy the space, whether it's like a patio, a deck, or a nice kind of like open area where you could sit, nice pool, whatever that is. Like that's like that would be kind of like, okay, because you know what, like I don't know what's your feedback? What when people buy a house, what do they buy? What's the biggest thing? Is it kitchen, master bedroom? What is it?
I mean, depends on who the decision maker is, but usually it is the homemaker at home. So the wife or the partner that stays at home will want a big kitchen, big living space. The bright white, really works well for a lot of people. The open concept, bright white, a lot of natural light.
Yeah, that makes a house. So the kitchen, master bedroom too.
Master bedroom, it's okay, but master bathroom is pretty important, and for some, depends on the family as well, right? Like multi-generational families will want to have like a in-law suite on the main floor now, or some younger families will want an income-producing kind of basement. So it really kind of depends on the demographics of the buyer, but generally those things will sell.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
good for you, man.
Some real estate tips there.
So if people are putting money into their house, that's where they should put it, into their kitchen.
Kitchen, yeah. I think a lot of people
just putting money into their kitchen
is
make it number one.
Make it number one, because that is you're prepping meals there 2-3 times a day, right? And it's where the family kind of gets together. It's the center of the home, I would say.
Awesome.
So tip for thought there.
Good tip.
Okay, so before we let you go, any final thoughts or any kind of or let our audience know where can they find you firstly?
So
your social handles and
so the best place to kind of get information obviously is our website, davidfritzgolf.com.
Yep.
That'll give you all the
programming
stuff. Information. Like our booking site is booking.davidfritzgolf.com. You can check out. We still have program availability. Let's say later this summer for camps, we still have program availability for some of our intro programs and that type of thing. So if people want to do that, they can also reach out. Through our phone and that type of thing, but usually people kind of can see all the information, let's say, on their on the website.
Okay, good. We'll also post the links below for people to check out later. So thank you very much for listening, guys. Thank you very much, Dave, for joining us. No if you guys enjoyed the episode, please give us a 5-star review, give us a like, and remember, guys, dream it, believe it, achieve it. It's a beautiful day to sell homes. Let's go get it. Hi, I'm Tim Kern, and I proudly lead the TimSold team. We're voted as one of the top 3 brokerages in Markham, and we will sell your house fast and for top dollar with the least amount of hassle, or we guarantee to buy it. Call us today and start packing.